Hey everybody, welcome to Make It Monday. If you're here, say hello. I'd love to chat with you today while we craft. We've got a simple little card, but it's really cute and it's a fun fold. So you can use the products I'm using or use whatever you have in your stash to create the same type of fold. It's really fun and it's really simple, but it packs a lot of punch. I'm an hour later than I normally come on. I usually come on at 2 Central Time. My name's Leslie. I am the Plaid Poodle. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I just share fun ways to use paper, stamps, and ink to make beautiful paper crafting projects. Hi, Mary from Central Florida. How are you this afternoon? Is it as hot there as it is here? We had a couple of days of beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weather. It was low humidity and in the 80s. It was just lovely. My husband and I, Bruce, we had three of our grandchildren on Saturday while their parents went car shopping, and we took them to the park, and it was just fabulous. It wasn't stifling hot, and just an enjoyable day. So it was really fun. Okay, I'm going to turn my camera around, put myself there in the corner, and this is the project we're going to make today. Let me pull it out of my pile. This is an alternative card that you can make using products from Paper Pumpkin. Mary says it's muggy and 92. Ugh, I hate the muggy. That's the problem. It's the humidity, right? That's the big joke. It's not the heat, it's the humidity. This is the little card we're going to make, and I'm going to show you how to make this fun fold. Like I said, I used products from the June, and I'll show you a little bit more in a minute, 2023 Welcome In Paper Pumpkin Kit. I used the card base, and then I used this pretty little image from the kit. And then I used some other items I had laying around to create this fun fold. The sentiment on the inside, wishing you everything wonderful, and I've got a little happy face, and I'll explain that in a minute, is from the happy face is from the Taco Fiesta. I used the little winky face. It goes really cute on the tacos and the nacho chips, and it's just really cute set. But I needed a happy face, and I'll explain why in a minute on my project. And then the sentiment is from this charming sentiment stamp set, and it comes with all of these fun sentiments and coordinating dies. So all the sentiments have a coordinating die to cut them out. I didn't use any of the dies in today's card. I just used the sentiment. And then the little, I created this little envelope closure. I thought that was kind of a cute little add-on. And I used these little, I don't know what you would call them. Let me see what they call them. I am using the Paper Pumpkin kit from June to create this card, and here are the little, it's escaping me what I should call them, but Paper Pumpkin, if you're not familiar, is a crafting kit that comes every month if you subscribe. I was going to see what the actual instructions called those things. I'm not in a hurry today, so I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just kind of in the mood to chat. Hi, Kathy. How are you today? These are the full color instructions that come with the kit. It doesn't really say what they're called. They're just little dots. They're little Night of Navy dots. There's even a little ruler on here, which I think is cute. Anyway, the only elements I used were the little dots, the little Night of Navy dots. And then from this card, they give you instructions for 3 cards. I use the card base, so I think I've already pulled that out. But it's a normal card base, so if you're making this at home with supplies that you already have, it's just a normal card base. It measures 8.5 by 5.5. It's scored at 4 1/4. Look at those cute little foxes. I don't know if there's refills or past kits available of this kit, but if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can purchase past kits, refill kits. The kits come with everything you need to make. This one came with 9 cards with coordinating envelopes. You get a stamp set and an ink spot, and then everything else you need to make the cards. But like I said, we are going to change it up a little bit. We are not going to make the card how it was designed. We're going to make it a little different, and I'll tell you why. This is a Craft Roulette creation. I'm going to submit this to Craft Roulette, and I have a link in the description to Craft Roulette Live. It is a improv paper crafting show, and the wheel spins, and the host, Mary Gunn of Craft Roulette, her and a guest crafter create based on what the wheel tells them to create. And then you can play along and create one and submit it to them, and you can win prizes. It's really fun. It's every Friday live, but you can go back and watch past episodes right now. And I am going to be on this Friday, the date 14th, July 14th. Kathy just asked, when are you on? I'm on this Friday. It starts at 6:30. But people are on there early just chatting away. It's really fun. But this week's parameters that the Craft Roulette wheel chose were 2 folds. So the project had to have 2 folds. Hopefully I don't get this in a knot, y'all. There we go. So here's my 1 fold, here's my 2 fold. It also had to have planter. The color element was planter colors. So I figured the Calypso Coral was a kind of a terracotta color. I think a planter color could be any color, actually, because you can get planters in any color. So that was kind of a tricky thing. But I chose the Calypso Coral. The element was a happy face. So there's my happy face. That explains why I stamped that little happy face on there, because to submit your card for Craft Roulette, you had to have a happy face. And then you had to use an old product. So my old product is this Baker's Twine. It's a retired Calypso Coral Baker's Twine, but it went really well with my card. And anyway, I'm going to show you how to make this fun fold. So I'm using the Paper Pumpkin products, but you can use whatever you have. Like I said, you'll need a card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and that makes your regular card base. And then we're going to cut off an inch. What did I say? 1.5 inches, I think. Hold on. I don't want to cut off more than I need to. Yes, 1.5 inches. So I cut off 1.5 inches of this card front. So actually, when you make your card, if you're not using a pre-made card base like I am using, you wouldn't need 8.5. You would only need 7, and then score it at 2 3/4, and that would be your card front or your card base. I think I'm done with my trimmer. I don't think we need that anymore. Hey, Loopy! I know, isn't this paper so fun? Okay, the next thing I did, I need to make my little, I'm going to untie this. I need to make my little flippy thing to make my front fold, that front little panel. So I am going to, I didn't grab any paper for that. Hold on. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Never mind. Let's see if I can cut it out of this. I might have to go grab some more Calypso coral, which I have right across the way. No, I did not. I'm confusing myself. I cut a piece of 3 inches by 2.5, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Did I write that on my 2 5/8 by 3, actually, of the Calypso coral? Here, I'm going to use this real quick. So I wasn't done with my trimmer. Actually, I'm not going to use that. Hold on, I got to get some paper. I'm so happy. I found a little scrap, so I don't have to cut a full sheet. Aren't you happy when that happens? Okay, so I need 2 5/8 for this little flap by 3. Then we're going to take this on the 3-inch side, go to 2 5/8, which is 1 after the half. I always remember that. And we're going to score that. And that makes our little flap right there. So 2 5/8 by 3, and then score, I think this is at 1/4 of an inch. No. It is 3/8 inches. So that flap is 3/8 inches. So that is going to attach to the back of this when we attach it to the inside of our card. And then I wanted to stamp on white, so I've got a piece of basic white. This piece of Calypso coral measures 5 1/4 by 4, and then you need a piece of basic white that measures 5 by 3 3/4. Okay, that's gonna adhere right to that, and then we're gonna attach our little flap to the back of that before we attach it to the inside of the card, and that makes the little fun fold. Isn't that cute? So easy too. But before I do all that, I'm going to do my stamping. So I'm going to take my Night of Navy ink. Sometimes I get in a habit of just using black ink for my sentiment stamps, and today I decided to change it up a little bit, and I'm hoping I don't do this crooked. I don't want to bump my camera. I don't know why I'm so nervous about it today. Usually photopolymer stamps are pretty easy to get good. Okay, and then I'm going to add my happy face because that was one of the parameters this week. And I like that little winky smile, so I put that on there. Because I am going to submit this to Craft Roulette. You can submit, and then they're going to give away prizes. They'll draw some names if you submit a card. Now, it's too late to do one for last week's show, unless you're a patron, which I am. So, I have till Thursday to submit mine, but I'll submit mine this afternoon. If you are not a patron, you have till Sunday at midnight to submit yours. And then Mary shows them all the next week. You can see all the cards that were submitted. They're fabulous. You can get some really good ideas by watching the show. You just have to start early. I think it starts at 5 or 5:30, and there's a gallery, and they just kind of show the cards. Okay, so see how that's going to go on there? But before I do that, I want to add my little square here. And for that, I'm using a piece from the kit, the paper pumpkin kit. This little piece right here, so I don't have to do any stamping. And then I'm going to cut that out, I know, shocker, with this, I believe I used this square die. Yep. I'm going to use this stitch square die from the Stylish Shapes dies. I use this almost, probably, if not on every project, every other project. Don't you always need a square or a circle? So I'm just cutting it out of this piece, this from the paper pumpkin kit. Now, if you aren't using the paper pumpkin kit, you can use whatever you have. You can stamp an image right on that square. It would also be cute to do a little embossing, maybe, or put some die cuts on there. Some die cut flowers you may have, or some stickers. The sky is the limit. Okay, I'm using this boho blue mini Stampin' Cut emboss machine, and I did check, it is still available for purchase. It is an exclusive while supplies last. They must have a big inventory of them, and they're still offering them. So if you are in the market for a mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you can get a white one or get that boho blue one. Okay, so I'm putting that on the center of that little square we cut, and then I'm going to attach it to the back of this with that flap, and I'm going to use some liquid glue for that. Just because that's just a 3/8 inch little flap, and I don't know, it just seems easier to me to use liquid glue. So I'm going to put that right on the center, like that. Not fun. And then we're going to add that to the inside of our card. And I'll just use some Stampin' Seal for this part. Okay, some upcoming things besides Friday. Join me, please join me and cheer me on. I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous to be there. I've done it a couple other times, but it's a little nerve-wracking. So if you're available Friday night, I would love for you to join us on Craft Roulette for some encouragement. Okay, so there's the fold, and then I decided to make this little, I don't know, you know, some envelopes have these little, I don't know what you would call them, to close the card. And to do that, I'm going to use a scrap of Calypso Coral, and then I use the stamp that came with that paper pumpkin kit, this stamp right here, and I just stamped, in fact, I'm going to use this little scrap of paper over here. I'm not going to waste that square. I'm going to stamp Calypso Coral onto Calypso Coral. It just kind of, I don't know if the camera picks it up, but doesn't it look like there's a little dimension on there when there's a pattern like that? And then I'm going to punch that out with I have a 3/4 inch, it's a retired Stampin' Up! Punch. But just use a circle punch or circle die, whatever size you have. And I'm going to try and catch one of these flowers. I want one of these flowers to show. And then to find the middle to put my, I have a little brad there. I just kind of gently folded it in half one way and then gently folded it in half the other way. And then where those two meet, I used a, I think this is a 1/8 inch or 1/16 inch punch, or you could just use your paper piercer and just punch a hole in there. And this is another old product I'm using from Stampin' Up! It's retired. They're basic dies, or basic brads. You can use any kind of brad. You could also, if you don't have a brad, I just use the brad for kind of decor. You could put another circle punch or a little die cut, or just use the circle by itself, and I'll show you why. Because I am not going to stick the brad through this front flap. I don't want it to show, so this is how I did it. I'll show you how I did it. I don't think whoever receives this card is going to be wild and crazy with it. So it didn't, I'm not going to send it through the mail, or, you know, it's not going to be an envelope sending through the mail. So I'm kind of just using it as decor, and I'm going to put it on the card base here with a dimensional. But I forgot the most important part. I forgot to put the baker's twine. This is old retired baker's twine as well. So this is another old product I'm using that I had in my stash. That was another one of the parameters for episode, was it 171? Craft Roulette. Hopefully I can put some more adhesive on here without bending my card too much. Whoops. I'm just going to stick that right in the middle. Press that down. There we go. I should have done that before I adhered my die cut there. But that's okay. It worked. All right. Now I'm going to add this little flippy flap thing. I don't know what to call it. Oh, Kathy thought it was embossed. See how just stamping on there makes it look like it's got a little something something. And Loopy thought it was a button. That would work too, Loopy. You wouldn't even have to, you know, punch a circle. You could just use a button. I am going to, on this one I used a mini dimensional. I'm going to see if this will work. If a normal dimensional will be too big. I don't think it will. See how that covers up that brad? And then it gives it a little height to wrap your twine around. So I'm going to stick that over there. And then I'm going to wrap this around a couple of times. And trim it off. And that is the card. I made it harder than it had to be. But what else is new, right? With me, I always forget one step. Okay. So, isn't that a fun little fun fold card? This one's, I need to push this one down a little bit. It's not really centered on there. I don't like, it's a little high. I'm going to lower it a little bit. if it'll let me. There we go. And if you wanted this to be a little bit more sturdy, you could use some glue on the bottom of the dimensional, but I think it works. Anyway, that's the Fun Fold card. That is the Paper Pumpkin alternative to the Welcome in July 2023 kit. And that is my Craft Roulette submission. I did 2 folds. I used planter colors, which I thought the terracotta and the Calypso Coral was a planter color. I put a happy face on my sentiment right in there. And the random was an old product. So my brads and my baker's twine were old products. And oh, I forgot to put the little little dots. I don't know what to call them. I forgot to put those on here. That kind of adds a little bit. Little sparkle. These came with the kit. There we go. That adds a little something, something. Okay. So that is my Craft Roulette process video for episode, was it 171? I think. It's in the notes, and there's a link there. You all can click on it and watch last Friday's episode. It was really fun. Or you can watch all the episodes, all the past episodes. I was going to show you one more thing, but I might have lost it. Today is the 10th, and since I am using a paper pumpkin kit, I was going to show you kind of a sneak peek of next month's kit. They sent one in here with our this kit. But I have evidently thrown it somewhere. What else is new? Anyway, if you would be interested in that, it looks really fun. It looks like there's a crab and some sand and all that. There's a link to the Paper Pumpkin subscription, and you can go there and it might show a preview. But today is the last day to subscribe to get that kit. So it's the 10th. The 10th of every month is always the last day to subscribe to get, it would be the July kit. It would ship out later this month. So I wanted to mention that. And also, if you're local to me, my Christmas in July card class is July 20th. It's a Thursday. I have a 1 o'clock class and a 6:30. We are going to be making 3 cards using the new online exclusive products that are Christmas themed. So it'll be really fun. The party will be Christmas themed. And all the information for that is on my blog, theplaidpoodle.com, or there is also a link to the class information in the description. So check that out. We'd love to have you. They're always a good time. And that's all. That's all for today. I will be back next Monday for another episode of Make It Monday. And please tune in if you're available on Friday to Craft Roulette. And cheer me on and encourage me and give me ideas what I can do with whatever the wheel decides we need to do. So I would really appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys later. Happy stamping.